didn't really know who he was before I signed with RIZIN. I just knew his brother, Kaya Sakura, because I knew that his brother was just getting an immediate title shot. Except for the kid that beat Patchy. I do not want to fight him because I don't want to get my ass whooped by someone half my age. And then that went like super viral. I mean, the dude is just a buzzsaw. 19-0 with 19 stoppages. Nobody's made it to round 3 with him. Dude is freak strong, has monstrous top control, explosive punches. He's an overpowered tank. He needs to go. So,
he needs to go.
God bless. Send you to the UFC. See ya. They did that with my hair. I've definitely watched a lot of anime, and I'm definitely into a lot of it. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. Attack on Titan was insane. Loved that.
So let's say Ren doesn't work out. Is there another featherweight that you have in mind?
I've said before I would like to fight Chihiro Suzuki.
Right.
But I also know that he was dealing with hand injuries and he's on a 3-fight skid. And I just feel like that doesn't really make sense unless you're trying to build me almost maliciously off of Chihiro Suzuki's name. And I don't really like that. And I would prefer that if Chihiro gets a win and if it gets a little momentum, it looks good, and people would be like, Chihiro looks like he can come back here. The hand is not an issue. Then I would like to fight him because I think that would be a really, really exciting fight. And then even just based on our, like I said before, based on our nicknames, he's, known as Lightning in Japan. I'm known as Korean Thunder. So it's just kind of like Thunder versus Lightning. It seems like a fun one. And then, Kubo doesn't really seem like he's into competing at any time soon like that. But I mean, he seems like an exciting one, especially with his, his kickboxing background. But to be fair, aside from Ren, I would prefer to find somebody with more of like a full-blown MMA background. I heard there was a southpaw that was training with Matsushima to prepare for me. And I can't remember his name, but he's got a lot of fights. He's got like 30 fights total or something like that. He's fought in RIZIN before. I can't remember a name off the top of my head, but honestly, aside from Ren, as long as the fight makes sense, just maybe not Patchy Mix, because me and Patchy are really tight. I'm cool with Patchy. Yeah, I would prefer to not fight Patchy Mix just because we're good friends here. Like he was telling me like, oh dude, you're gonna love Japan, gave me some advice going over there. I like Patchy and I want him to do well as well. And I would fight Patchy maybe, for like the belt or a lot of money. Something where we both get paid a lot. It's not like we train together or anything, but I like Patchy a lot. He's a cool dude and I wish the best for him.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see you fight Patchy. I don't think that would ever happen. It's not such an attractive fight for most Japanese MMA fans, I believe. Okay, so basically, if not Ren, then just pretty much anyone's cool.
And then maybe not Akimoto.
Kyoma. That kid's good, right?
Yeah. Well, the first tweet I ever made that got popular in Japan, people were like, who do you want to fight? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to have to do my research. And then I said, except for the kid that beat Patchy, I do not want to fight him because I don't want to get my ass whooped by someone half my age. And then that went like super viral. Everybody was laughing about that. So they were like, I like his honesty or something like that. So I'll stick to that. I'll avoid Akimoto.
Yeah, okay, so that's cool. Kyoma, I just had him on my channel recently. I knew him since he was an amateur. He's a really cool kid. He's a nice guy. I hope he does well. He's kind of like the closest thing to the title match at the moment, I believe. Maybe one more fight if he can beat like a former champion or something like that, he'll get the shot at Shader F next. So I want to ask you about the featherweight division. I don't know how many fighters you really know, but I'm going to mention a name and then you can tell me what you think about him. So let's start with the champ, Shader F. What do you think about him?
I mean, the dude is just a buzzsaw. 19-0 with 19 stoppages. Nobody's made it to round 3 with him. Like, I don't know what else is left for him aside from going to the UFC. And I just feel like everybody else kind of agrees with that statement. He's cleared out the entire division, hasn't really had much of a challenge. I don't know if anyone could really compete with what he does. Dude is freak strong, has monstrous top control, explosive punches, stuff like that. He seems like the complete package to me. In the Japanese MMA scene, is there anybody that they talk about that could be like a challenge to him? Or
no, not really. I think...
Yeah, so that's kind of like my thoughts on him. He's an overpowered tank. He needs to go. So,
he needs to go.
God bless. Send you to the UFC. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of looking at it like it's just a matter of time till he leaves RIZIN and goes to the UFC. So we also just want to see how far he can go in the UFC. Like, how much of a monster is he over there? So it's very interesting to see him go over, but we don't know when or if. He might just stay here forever.
Yeah, true. And if that's the case, I'll get to that road when I get there. So,
is your goal the belt, the RIZIN belt? Is that what you want?
So, I mean, there's definitely like two sides of it. Or like one, I want to make money for my family, and I want to, do cool things in Japan. But the fighter in me is like, of course I want to go for the belt. You know, if somebody says, could you beat Shade Alive? Of course I'm going to say, I think I can. You know what I mean? I've done things that most people don't do. Like, no one's ever submitted Matsushima before. I submitted Matsushima. You know what I mean? Like, I have a knack for doing things and pulling things off that nobody has ever done before. So if you tell me, you know, you can't beat Shade Alive or something, I'd be like, maybe. But I bet I can make it to the third round with him.
Right.
So you know what I mean? I bet I could pull something off. So
okay. Yeah, shit, no one made it to the third round. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Or even made it to the decision. So it's so weird. Like, if anyone fought him and made it to the decision, we would like praise him. It's kind of like come to that.
Yeah. So that just shows how much of a monster that guy is.
Sure. It's so true. So moving on. Mikuru, what do you think about Asakura Mikuru?
I think he's cool. I mean, like he definitely is skilled. I mean, he basically carries all of Japan on his shoulders every time he fights, right? Like he sells out, you know, 40,000 seat stadiums and stuff. So I definitely think he's pretty cool. And I mean, like, I didn't really know who he was before I signed with RIZIN. I just knew his brother, Kai Asakura, because I knew that his brother was just getting an immediate title shot. He wasn't even on my radar. And then they were like, oh, his brother fights in RIZIN. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they were like, no, his brother is like the face of RIZIN. And then I like did my research. I was like, oh shit, like this guy is the biggest star in Japan, basically. Yeah, I think he's cool. And then I kind of am just like aiming for Ren now. And then it's like, you know, in the future, who knows what the future brings? You know, I don't really know that much about like Asakura's character. Is he like a brash, outlandish kind of guy like Ren, or what's his deal?
No, he's not like an asshole like Ren. Like, I like Ren, but yeah, sometimes he does like he pulls all those asshole moves, which is just, you know, I'm kind of used to it. I followed his career since he was in the K1 in his K1 days. So like sometimes he pulls that off. So yeah, Mikuru doesn't have any of that. In his younger days, he was more like, not really cocky, but I guess so cocky. So like before he was popular, he was kind of like, this is a long story, but he came from this organization called Outsider, which is kind of like close to like street people doing MMA. And so it wasn't really like looked upon as like proper pro MMA fighters. So he was from there, and then he made his way to RIZIN. So they were kind of like looking at him as like an outsider. But then he had stacked up some spectacular performances and good knockouts, and then his YouTube channel boomed. And then before we know it, he's just massive star in RIZIN. So in his younger days, he kind of had that cocky attitude where like, you guys don't acknowledge me, but like I'm better than you guys kind of thing. But now he's way past that stage. So like right now he's just this, he's just this, exactly what you see on SNS. He's just cool, calm, collected.
Then my opinion on this is he's cool. And if the stars align, maybe we'll compete against each other one day.
Yeah, so, that's the biggest fight you can get.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really have much of an opinion of him, positive or negative yet. So I haven't interacted with him or any of his fans yet, as far as I know, aside from
you're gonna get some interactions with his fans pretty soon. Just fighting with Ren. You're gonna get a lot of support though, to be honest, because they want you to whip Ren.
That's interesting. What a strange dynamic. I find it super.
Yeah, dude,
super
you'll be treated as a hero if you beat Ren.
Yeah, that's funny.
We kind of talked about Kyoma and Mix and Suzuki Chihiro, so that's pretty much all the top fighters, and Kubo as well. Your nickname was Korean Thunder, but you're half Korean, is that correct?
Yeah. I'm half Korean. My mom is full Korean. My dad is Irish and Italian.
Oh, okay.
Is Ren Korean?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. He looks like he could be like a K-pop star. I see his face, I'm like, he looks Korean to me.
Right.
Like, huh. Yeah. I was wondering if he was like mixed or something like that. I don't know.
I don't believe so. I think he's full Japanese. But yeah, I get what you're I get what you're saying. He does kind of look like that.
I read his face as Korean, which I thought was weird, but I was just like, okay.
Yeah. So like in Japan, like I'm full Japanese, and then I speak English like this, so like it's just natural for people to think I'm a foreigner. But like if a Japanese tells another Japanese you're Korean, it's kind of an insult.
Oh, okay.
Like you're not Japanese, you're Korean, or like you're Chinese.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, I didn't mean it like an insult or anything. I was just wondering because like his face to me just looked Korean.
Yeah, of course.
I was just curious about it. I mean, like to me, you know, growing up in America, when I was like, I'm half Korean. My people would come up to me and be like, what kind of Chinese are you? So, you know, like, yeah. So for me, I've dealt with every offensive thing, oh, ching chong, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I honestly still deal with it from time to time. It's ridiculous, but you know, it's so I didn't mean any offense by it. I was
no,
just
no.
legitimately
I understand.
curious.
I understand. It's like it's completely normal to ask that if you're curious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's full Japanese, from what I understand. Okay. Yeah. So listen, are you okay for time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
I'm good. I took a nap, so I'm good.
I gathered some questions from my LINE open chat, which is a bunch of MMA fans or like martial art fans gather. I told them you're coming on the channel, and I told them if you have any questions you guys want to ask him, let me know. And then I grabbed a couple. Is it okay if I ask you some?
Please do.
All right. So the first question is, if you were to fight with Ren, will you prepare to have a stand-up battle with him, or would you go for the takedowns?
You've seen kind of like my fight style is I will do whatever is necessary to win, but I always like to test things out. So I have no problem doing that. You know what I mean? Like I'll definitely stand with him, but if I see an opportunity to take him down, I definitely will.
What aspects do you think you surpass Ren?
Just basically everything but straight 1-2 punches down the pipe. I'll give him credit. He is very, very fast. He's got lightning quick strikes. His reaction time for his counter straight left is very, very impressive. I would just say like his straight shots down the pipe are very, very quick and untelegraphed, but I just feel like wrestling, I'm better. Jiu-jitsu, I'm better. Clinch for MMA, I'm better. Basically every aspect of MMA that is not pure striking, I think I'm better.
Right. Have you watched a lot of footage of him?
I've been watching it now, especially after my coaches and I have started to break down tape on him. Yeah, so we've been watching it. I mean, he does some tricky stuff, but again, it's like when he's taking other fighters down, he's taking guys down that can't really wrestle, or at least wrestle to my capabilities. So, I mean, like I know a lot of people thought that Matsushima was a pretty high-level wrestler for Japan, and I stuffed almost all of his takedowns. So, yeah, I feel like that there are levels for sure.
Next question. How did you get into JMMA and RIZIN? And how did you get the fight with Matsushima Koyomi?
So I got into Japanese MMA just watching on YouTube when I was younger. I remember the very first introduction into Japanese MMA was Genki Sudo, because I was watching UFC fights and then I saw a highlight reel of Genki Sudo and doing all the crazy stuff that he did, the flying triangles, the rolling calf crushers. I couldn't figure out what a rolling calf crusher was for 5 years. That's how far ahead Genki Sudo was ahead of the game. I couldn't even understand what he was doing to tap people. So that was my real first introduction into Japanese MMA back in 2009, 2008. And then, through there I was introduced to Kid Yamamoto and stuff like that. That was kind of my initial introduction into it was through those guys. And then my fight with RIZIN, so my manager basically said hey, congratulations on winning the CFFC title. Super proud of you. I want to put you in. I put your name in for PFL. And I was like, I'm honestly not really interested in the PFL. And he was like, well, what are you interested in if the UFC is not going to take you? And I was like, well, I'm always up for a short notice for the UFC, but I would love to fight in Asia if you had a contact with RIZIN or One Championship or something like that. He said, I have contacts with RIZIN, I'll let you know. So he contacted Shingo. Shingo said, Ryan's kind of old, but if we need him for a very specific matchup or something like that, we'll let you know.
Right.
And so I just kind of brushed it off as all right, this is kind of it for me. Nobody's really going to sign me anywhere. So I started looking at I'm going to do one more CFFC title defense and then I'll kind of retire and walk off into the sunset. I got offered a guy named David McGoyan who just fought on the Netflix card.
Okay.
And I accepted him because he had fought on the Contender Series. He's Arman Sarukian's protege. And Sarukian watched tape on me and said, I don't like this fight, and turned it down. So then after that, I was kind of all right, well, if nobody's going to fight me, what the hell? And then I ended up getting the flu before my title defense in April. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do this. I'll fight later in the year, because at that point I was just, my motivation was gone.
Right.
And then as soon as I got over the flu, I get a call from my manager and he said, hey, RIZIN called, you're in, they want you. And I was like, oh my God. And then, I was actually I was on my staircase upstairs and I was I came down, I was shaking. They were I was crying a little bit. I was Shan, I'm going to RIZIN, I'm going to Japan. So it was pretty crazy for me. And I accepted before they even told me who I was fighting. So.
Oh, okay. So they didn't even give you an opponent. They just told you the date?
I was just I'm in. They're do you want to know about your opponent? I was like, no, I'm in. Right. Let's go. So, because I assumed they were going to just put me against, somebody like Kiyoma. I was mentally prepared. I was if that's who I got to fight, that's who I'm probably going to have to fight. Screw it. let's do it.
I was just about to say it was a good thing it wasn't Kyoma.
Yeah. Yeah. When they actually, my initial reaction when they offered me Matsushima, I was like, wow, like this actually seems like an even matchup on paper. Because if you look at our statistics, we are very, very similar from height to range to record, experience, all that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So like, God, you never know, right?
Yeah. So I went from thinking I was going to retire to now being like, well, I got to keep going now.
That's so crazy, huh?
Yeah. And I'm more motivated than ever now. Like now I'm like, well, I got to keep going. I'm already back in the gym already.
Will you try to look for the Dragon Sleeper in your next fight?
It's pretty funny. I didn't know what it was or how I hit it when I did it in the fight. And then my jiu-jitsu coach at home broke down the Dragon Sleeper and he hit it in practice 7 times. So he's now teaching me how to actually do the Dragon Sleeper. So if I get the chance to hit a second one, I will 100% hit a second Dragon Sleeper. But now I'll actually know what I'm looking for and how to set it up.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it won't just be dumb luck.
So you're a good-looking guy, but why did you change your hairstyle to this weird kind of cut? I think you had posted a picture on Twitter with this weird haircut.
Oh, man. So the funny story about that is like, I had just won a fight, but I got kicked in the head pretty bad. So you can see the scar. It actually lines up with my hairline. Yeah, so I took a kick to the head and I got like 12 stitches in my head. And then so for my next fight, I was so concerned about it that I grew my hair out longer and then I wanted him to cut it and then part my hair the other way to cover it.
Right.
Because I was worried about if it gets hit, it's going to reopen. So before I got to that stage, I had to get my hair like neutral style. So I went to this like Puerto Rican barbershop where like walking distance from where I lived in Philly. And I was like, oh, just, like shape it up, make it look kind of normal or whatever. And they did that with my hair. And I was like, I came out of there and he was like, what you think? And I was like, it looks good. Thank you. And then I left and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, I'm not Latino. This is a Latino haircut. Like, yeah. So it just looked ridiculous. And then I posted it and then everybody on Twitter thought it was like the funniest thing they'd ever seen.
Yeah, I have the picture now. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the main reasons I got popular in Japan was just like posting unflattering photos of myself.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I think your next fight is actually going to be Suzuki Chihiro or Takagi. But do you know these two? And obviously we talked about this in the other video, but you know Suzuki Chihiro, but do you know Takagi? He fought on the same card as you.
Did he knock out the Chinese guy?
He knocked out the Chinese guy with the right hand. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. That's a dangerous fight for anybody, especially with the size and the lankiness that he has, what is he, 6 feet tall? He's very tall for the weight class. That being said, I mean, if that's the fight that gets made, I've fought taller. I've beaten taller. As an amateur, I went through 3 fights in a row where I fought somebody who is 6'3", 6'2", and 6'1", back to back to back. Okay.
So yeah, I've dealt with guys that are way taller than him. He's a tall task figuratively and literally, but if that's the matchup, bring it. I'm ready.
Did you go to Vasilia's gym? We talked about this in another video, and it was closed.
Yeah, went and was closed. So, but I would love to go back next time, especially now that Takeru knows I exist. So
yeah, you could definitely, you could probably get some training in there if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, I was going to book a private session there anyways. So
I heard you were teammates with Frankie Edgar and that you looked up to him a lot. Is there an interesting episode story that you can share with us?
We did a lot of stuff together. I mean, like I helped him get ready for a lot of his fights. You know what's interesting was his bare knuckle fight that didn't happen. He was getting ready to make his return to combat sports, and he was going to fight Jimmy Rivera in a bare knuckle fight. And, we helped prepare him for the whole training camp, for all that. And then, like, a week before the fight, the bare knuckle doctors didn't clear him to fight. And he was like, what the fuck? And he was flipping out because he was so angry about it. And I think what happened behind the scenes was that they offered Frankie a lot of money, and then Frankie accepted. And then the ticket sales weren't doing the numbers they expected. So then I think they had their doctors make up a reason to pull Frankie off of the card. So then he got super, pissed about it. And like he had his doctors clear him. He had a clean bill of health. He was ready to fight. And then I think what happened behind the scenes was they ended up actually having to pay Frankie like hush money to like, hey, like just don't make a big deal out of this, and we'll pay you like a large percentage of what we were supposed to pay you, and we'll kind of call it even. It's not like crazy exciting, but it's interesting about like the kind of shady dynamics that go on behind the scenes in combat sports. You know, you can't take everything that a fighter says at face value, because there's so many different things working behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So like even this whole thing with Ren being like, you know, I'll fight Ryan next. I always kind of take it like, yeah, all right, I'll believe it when I see the contract. You know what I mean? There are so many things that could be negotiated in something like that. For example, like if they offered me the same money to fight Ren that they did to fight Matsushima, then I'm going to say no. I'm going to turn down the fight. You know what I mean? Because that's one of the biggest fights you can make. So I feel like I deserve a larger payday for that. So it's like I said, there's so many different dynamics that go on in fighting behind the scenes. It's nice to be able to kind of expose that a little bit.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Bare knuckle, you were never interested in the bare knuckle?
Hell no. No, never. I actually corner a lot in bare knuckle.
Okay.
So I corner a guy who's like a rising star in Philadelphia. His name is John Garbarino. He's known as the cannoli, because at weigh-ins he brought like cannolis. Do you know what those are?
No, sorry.
It's like an Italian dessert. It's like a pastry with like cream in the middle. And he brought them, and like Conor, he gave one to Conor McGregor, he gave one to his opponent, and then he slapped his opponent in the face with a cannoli.
Okay.
And it went like super viral. And now he's got like tons and tons of followers on social media and stuff like that off of just smacking a guy with a pastry at weigh-ins. And I coach him, and he does really, really well. He's undefeated in bare knuckle. So I have seen that sport firsthand. And the only way I would do it is if you paid me enough money to pay off my house in one fight. That's
right.
it.
But the fight money is pretty good from what I hear, is it?
It's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like if you're a lower level guy, if you're like a crackhead from Florida being flown in to get knocked out, probably make a couple thousand.
Right.
But the more experienced MMA fighters who have a lot of name behind them, you can actually make good money.
It's kind of like same as any other MMA promotion or fighting promotion.
But it's like, are you willing to take the superficial damage? Are you willing to permanently disfigure your face or break your hands? Like Eddie Alvarez broke his jaw. The card that I cornered Eddie on there, I remember almost every single fighter either broke their face or broke their hand.
Yeah.
Every single one. So I was like, not for me.
You're getting a lot of traction with the MMA fans on SNS. Again, the word SNS. Probably X mainly. But what do you think about this? How do you feel about it? I guess it's more like, how do you feel about the Japanese MMA SNS?
Oh, I mean, in terms of the vast majority of the fans are super, super respectful. And I really love and appreciate interacting with them because they find me interesting. You know what I mean? And I feel like I have a lot of interesting things to share from a coaching standpoint, from a fighting standpoint, from a daily things in my life standpoint. I do my best to just be my genuine self on SNS, and the Japanese fans seem to appreciate me for that, and more than any American fan has ever done. So aside from, you know, a couple of like my close friends and things like that. But just like in terms of like the MMA landscape as a whole, I just feel like Japanese MMA appreciates who you are as a person more, not just your fighting style, which is what I like about it. Yeah. So that being said, I think I need to take a break. I think I've been staring at my phone like way too much.
Right.
Like once I figured out how to like search my own name in Japanese, then I'll sit there and just be like,
right.
So like, I think I'm going to actually chill out for a couple of days or at least a week or something like that, you know? So it's like, you know, so I don't just burn a hole through my eyes.
It's fun though. Yeah. You do get hooked on it, and then you're just kind of like on your phone the whole time before you know it.
Right.
What kind of Japanese food do you like? What kind of sightseeing places did you like? What kind of anime do you like? If you lived in Japan, where would you want to live? That kind of stuff.
In terms of food, I mean, the sushi was insane. I mean, like the best sushi I've had in America was like pretty close to just regular mid-tier conveyor belt sushi in Japan. I mean, like elite sushi in America is like just regular sushi in Japan for like regular price, which I like couldn't believe. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. Really enjoyed everything from the onigiri to the just bagged chicken to the soft. I mean, I will forever miss those soft-boiled eggs. They were just incredible to me. And then like I tried a multi-layer crepe cake on like the last day on my way back. That was incredible. I tried like a cream puff from 7-Eleven, also incredible. Even just like regular Haagen-Dazs, like vanilla Haagen-Dazs, for some reason tasted way better here in Japan. Maybe because I was also cutting weight. So, but I don't know. Because like I always treat myself to like ice cream the night before weigh-ins. So like I get my weight down within like 2 to 3 kilos and then I cut the rest. But before I go to bed, I do have ice cream.
The night before weigh-ins?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dietitian says like, hey, you can have like X amount of ice cream. So I got like in the hotel, they had these like little mini Haagen-Dazs.
Oh yeah.
So I ate 2 of them and then that grapefruit ice. Oh man, that stuff is legit. I'm sitting there like sucked out and I'm like eating grapefruit ice. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. So
right.
Yeah. And then in terms of like the places I explored, like just going all around Tokyo was super cool. And like the first place I wanted to go was the Square Enix store because I'm a big Final Fantasy guy. So I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy. So I saw like the Square Enix store and then the Pokemon store, the Nintendo store, Godzilla store, you know, all those back to back to back to back. So that was really cool to like see that location in particular. I would love to see more of like the countryside when I go next time. I'd love to see more of like the farmland and things like that. Stuff that I saw on the bullet train on the way. I was like, I would love to visit some of those places, like a little more quiet areas. That would be fun too. So yeah, it just all in all, I just loved the experience.
You like anime, huh? Quite a bit?
Oh yeah, the last one. So I forget who introduced it to me, but one of the first animes I watched growing up was Ranma 1/2, which I feel like is a pretty like obscure, out of left field, like very specific anime for Japan. So I grew up watching Ranma 1/2, and then like, you know, some of the really popular ones in America were like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and stuff. But then like nowadays, I've really been enjoying this one called Sentenced to be a Hero. I really enjoyed Solo Leveling, which is like a Korean one. Attack on Titan was insane. Loved that. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. I've definitely watched a lot of anime and I'm definitely into a lot of it. I'm enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm confused, but I'm enjoying it. It's hard for me to keep track of everything in it. It's pretty complicated to me. Those are definitely some of my like top animes right now.
What MMA legend do you like and kind of influenced your MMA career?
Definitely a couple of them. I definitely feel like from like my area, obviously Frankie Edgar is one of them. And I just feel like I've always seen Eddie.
Sorry, my bad. I kind of read the question wrong. Sorry, Japanese MMA legend. My bad.
Oh, okay. So obviously Genki Sudo, because he was one of the first guys that I've ever seen fight. It would probably be like Genki Sudo and Kid Yamamoto. Those would be like the two that I really like grew up watching and like watching their highlight reels over and over and over. Like I said this on my SNS, one of my, I guess my like biggest regret is that I didn't get to meet Kid Yamamoto when he was alive. So that kind of like bums me out that I'm like, I got to Japan a couple of years too late for that. So I wish I got to meet him because he was like, you know, he was the first like lightweight pioneer of MMA that like was getting attention in America long before he ever, you know, when he was in his prime. I wish like he got to fight like Uriah Faber and stuff back in the day. So it would probably be a tie between like Genki Sudo and Yamamoto.
So that's about it. That's all I got for you, Ryan. It was really good talking to you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you having me on the show and looking forward to talking to you again, maybe in person next time.
Yeah, hopefully. If you're next time you come to Japan, we definitely want to. We got to do this in person. That'd be cool. Do you do any SNS? Sorry, SNS again. Do you do any like?
No, I think so.
Sorry, it just comes out. Do you do anything besides X? Do you have like Instagram or like TikTok?
I use Instagram. I had a TikTok. I don't really use it anymore, especially after like Israel bought the platform, which I thought was kind of like, okay, I'm good. Yeah, so I have a TikTok. I don't use it anymore.
Okay.
But if fans want to go find my old funny videos, they're more than welcome to. But I do use Instagram.
Okay. So like, I'll put all your SNS in the description box down below.
Yeah.
So, 皆さんフォローお願いします. You should get it. Like, if you have the chance, get someone to run your YouTube. That'll be cool.
Okay. Well, I'm actually in the process of making my first YouTube video. So it's going to be it's going to be like a breakdown of RIZIN 53 of the fights that I did watch. So.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that's cool. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for making the time, Ryan. Good luck with everything. I hope you get the fight. And I hope I'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, I'll talk to you later.